Are you struggling to get noticed in the digital jungle? Tune in to our latest episode with Brittany Long, the Queen of Evergreen and AI expert, as she reveals 5 powerful ways to boost your visibility in using AI. So stay tuned.
This episode of the Lead Machine Growth Show is brought to you by Lead Machine, the step-by-step, tech-easy system for getting leads online. Are you struggling to get leads from your lead magnet? Are you tired of seeing low conversion rates and losing potential customers? It's time to revive your lead magnet and start attracting more leads. Download our free report, 10 Deadly Lead Magnet Mistakes That Are Costing You Leads, and learn how to create a high-converting lead magnet that engages your audience and drives conversions. Don't let common mistakes hold you back any longer. Revive your lead magnet today and download your free report at www.getleadmachine.com/deadly. Welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show, where you will discover how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream. Paul Guyan, the mastermind behind the Lead Machine, introduces you to trailblazers who inspire you to implement life-changing solutions and systems you can model to nurture your leads and get your offers seen by your ideal clients who will invest in themselves and you. Be sure you visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, tune in and get ready to transform your vision into reality.
And welcome to the Lead Machine Growth Show, where passion meets entrepreneurship. I'm Paul Guyan, your host and Lead Machine Growth Show, Lead Machine coach and tech and entrepreneur virtuoso. Virtuoso, that's a hard word to say. Virtuoso. And I'm dedicated to helping entrepreneurs just like you, coaches and solo entrepreneurs, tackle their tech, master their message, and design their dreams. So whether you're just starting out or taking your business to the next level, let's get this conversation started and turn your dreams into reality. Known as the Queen of Evergreen and creator of the AI Copy Club, the most affordable, most understandable way to learn AI, Brittany Long is a former award-winning educator who works with entrepreneurs to automate their businesses for a regret-free life. Using her Friday off framework, she takes Fridays off and encourages other entrepreneurs to do the same. So I first met Brittany at the AI Advantage event, and she rocked it. I was really impressed, and with her message and the way she teaches, especially, it was so easy to follow. And I'm also a member of the AI Copy Club, and which is truly affordable. And there are a lot of things in there that can really help you get visible and kick up your business. So I like the way she teaches. And I knew she would be the perfect guest for the show. So welcome to the show, Brittany. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to being here.
Yeah. And we were just talking about the weather cooling down. So that's cool. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So using AI, I've got some experience with AI, and I'm in your copy club. I'm also in the AI Success Club. So I got bit by that bug pretty early on, and have started using it for content and for ideas, and but I haven't really used it for growing my email list yet. And so, what are some of your thoughts on that, on how you can accomplish that with AI?
One of the ways you can do it is to look up market research on your audience using BARD. So we hear a lot about ChatGPT, and Claude is starting to come to the forefront now, but BARD is another great tool, and it's one that connects to the internet. So if you want to do real-time market research, that's a great place to go. If you want to look through research that's already been done, you can even ask it to scour the internet and share articles on a particular topic that you're trying to figure out that relates to your audience. Another way that I really enjoy is using ChatGPT and asking for ideas on how I can better reach my audience. And I really like asking for ideas that are outside the box, because sometimes if I just ask for ideas, it gives me the general ideas that I've tried a million times, I've heard a million times. But by asking it to go outside the box, it gives some really interesting ideas that I definitely wouldn't have thought of. There's somebody I was talking to and working with recently who works in the like home organization space. And it gave her an idea of doing like an organization flash mob where everybody in her community stopped what they were doing and organized something in their house for 10 minutes and then shared about it on social and tagged her. And I never would have thought of that. And I thought it was so fun.
Who would think of that? That's
right.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take those ideas and then you formulate a regular e-letter or something like that. How do you do that?
So after I have the ideas, I ask it to help me prioritize which one has the highest chance of success, which one has the highest chance of helping me reach my goal of building my email list. And then from there, I start with the first one and I ask it for step-by-step instructions on what to do next if I get stuck at all. And then from there, once people are on my list, I do start sending out those emails consistently to them so that we can build that relationship and get to know each other via email.
So the idea then would be to get some content that you put out there somewhere on some platform where your audience is gathered, and then you offer them something of value like your AI copy club or your some sort of lead magnet. How does that work?
Right. So then I would, so typically what I'm doing is I go from a transcript to either LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. I have that, and AI helps me kind of create the script for that or the post for that, depending on my transcript. And then I make that call to action, like you said, either AI copy club, something that's really affordable, or a lead magnet to get them onto my list.
So you mentioned a lead magnet or a transcript. So what do? You put your ideas and talk about your ideas on a video and then have it. So you start with video first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I start with a video or audio. Sometimes when I'm going for a walk, I don't know about you, I always have my best ideas when I'm away from my computer, when I'm outside. So I go on a walk or I'm working out and I'll have a great idea and I just record a voice message of myself thinking it out loud, just talking about it. Or I'll be sitting at my computer and I get a question in my inbox and I think, oh, this is something that I can talk about on other platforms. So I'll record a video answer. And then from there, I'll use that transcript to create a blog post, LinkedIn article, email, social media posts like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Thread, and then also a TikTok or YouTube short script.
Right. Okay. And so you've always got something handy that either your phone or your computer. What kind of tool do you use to do that recording?
On my phone, I use it's called Voice Recorder, and it's a free thing. I mean, they have like ads and stuff, but it's totally free. And then on my phone, I use Loom, which is one of my favorite tools to use because the transcript will pop up automatically. I don't have to put it into anything else. I can just get it right there. So it makes it that much faster.
So Loom has that. Is that built into the free plan or the paid plan or both?
I believe it's the free plan. Also, I'm using the paid plan, which I think is about $10 a month, but I think it's in the free plan too.
Otherwise, you could use. I know BARD will do a transcript. I believe it'll do an audio transcript. I know that. What is it? Claude also is a tool that I can use for. I use Descript.
I do too.
For my transcripts, because I transcribe my podcasts, which are usually 50 or 60 minutes, and so it's some heavy lifting, and it's all I record them in Zoom, and it's really easy to do it that way. So
when I'm using my phone, that's what I do. I'll send the voice memo to my team member, and then she uploads it into Descript, removes the filler words, adds studio sound so that you don't hear like the dogs barking in the background and stuff while I'm walking. And so, we use this Descript for that when it's a podcast or audio.
Right. Okay. So are there any other favorite tools that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I love, it's called Doom, Dumme, and Clap.app. Those are two of my favorites, and they're both great for video content. So if I want to take that longer form video, 6, 10, 15, even more minutes, I can take that video and upload it to one of those sites. And it's going to automatically chop that video into pieces. And it's going to look for the places to chop it where it makes sense. So it won't just chop in the middle of a sentence. It'll actually chop it in the right places using AI. And then it actually puts in the subtitles also, and highlights the most important words as they're coming up on the screen. And so that's another tool that I really, or both of those are tools that I really love. They save us a lot of time. We use those videos for Reels, for YouTube Shorts, for TikTok.
Wow. And so, and those are the things that you use. You put those things out there on your different platforms with a call to action to go back to that lead magnet. And that's how you build your list. And then
Exactly.
with your list, you have some sort of follow-up mechanism that you use.
Yep. So go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask you if you used AI to help you define the follow-up too.
Yes, actually, I just did that this morning. I was writing some emails and I said, all right, here's the purpose of the emails. Here's what I want them to get out of it. Can you create an outline for me for each of these emails? So it creates the outlines. There are 4 emails. And then once I feel like the outlines are covering what I want them to cover, then I say, great, let's go ahead and write email 1. Here's an example or a sample of my work so that you can get my voice, my tone, my style. And then from there, it's going to give me an email. Almost always that first email I get is not the one that I use. So I'll copy and paste the email. Usually I'm using ChatGPT or Claude for this. I'll copy and paste the email and I'll say, I would change this to, and then I'll put what I would change that email to, the updates and edits that I would make. Then I say, all right, let's go to email 2. And then it does email 2. I do the same thing with the edits. By email 3, I don't really have to make any edits anymore. It's really solid on my voice, my tone, my formatting. And it just took probably about 10 minutes for me to make those edits. And then I'm good to go.
And then you just copy and paste them into your autoresponder.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And going back to those tools, did you say it was Clap?
Clap. It's KLAP.
KLAP.
Yeah, KLAP.app, APP.
App. And the other one, what was it that again?
It's Doom, DUMME.
Okay.
.com.
.com. I'd heard you mention those before,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to make sure that we mentioned it here, so they're in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the intro, we talked about getting more visible. So we just kind of touched on a lot of that, but you've got 5 ways. So can you tell us about the 5 ways that you'd like to talk about today to teach us?
Absolutely. So one of the ways that I like to get more visible is by coming up with things to talk about that my audience is already searching for. I can use spyfoo.com or answerthepublic.com, which are not AI tools, but they are really helpful tools. But then I can also use BARD to help me do some of that research as well. The other thing that I really like to do is come up with objections that I can answer in videos or questions that people might have. So I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll say, this is an offer I have coming up. What are questions that I need to address, or what are objections people will have that I need to address? So then before I launch, before I even do a pre-launch sequence, what I'm doing is on social talking about I know the questions that are going to come up for them. Not only the questions that will come up for them, but also the prerequisites, the things that I need them to believe and like feel ready about in order to even pay attention to the offer. And so that's one of the things that I do, especially when I'm getting more visible in time for a launch. So that's one way. Another way, we talked about Doom and Clap, using those video tools to get on more platforms. Sometimes I talk to folks who are like, I just feel really overwhelmed by the amount of content I need to create. And so by doing it this way and using those tools, you can create a lot of content much, much faster. Then we also have blog posts in LinkedIn. So again, transcript. And what I'll say is something like, I want you to take the transcript below and turn it into a blog post. My keywords that I want to focus on are, and then whatever the keywords are. And I want you to also address questions that the audience might have based on what I've said. Format it like a blog post, and then it'll do that. And then, and I really like that because it's my ideas, my thoughts. It's just, I started with a transcript first. So those are 3 ways. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to point out, going back to your pre-launch sequence and the content, that addressing those, basically they're frequently asked questions, or when you're launching a product, we're talking about transformation. And one of the things that people are unsure of is, can they transform? can they accomplish that? So by addressing those concerns up front, that reduces a lot of that friction down the line when you're getting ready to launch. Doesn't it work that way?
Oh yeah, it makes it
Yeah.
so much easier to sell for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we were on number 3.
Yep. So another one that we use is our autoresponder. So anytime somebody does sign up for our like a freebie or something like that, we ask them to reply, got it, so that we know it made it to them. It also helps with our deliverability, which is great. But then in my autoresponder, which always triggers, and I let them know things like I'm out on Fridays and stuff like that. But we also have some more of our offers in there too. We have freebies in there, and we also have a few offers too. And that's something that we can do to get visible in front of people that, yes, they're already on our list, or they're emailing in to ask for a podcast, like guest episode or something like that. So sometimes they're on our list, sometimes they're not. But that's another way that we get our offers more visible, is by adding that in. And it's super simple to add in. I don't have to think about it really, since I added it like 2 years ago. So that's great.
So that's like the perfect welcome email.
Mm-hmm.
You give them some more love, basically. Is you're giving them love, and you're indoctrinating them, having them reply, helping your return rate, but it also kind of starts that conversation, starts that relationship off. So that's brilliant.
The last one I'd say is if you're doing any kind of cold pitches or cold outreach, this is going to be a really great tool for you. It's called Humantik AI. And typically when you reach out to somebody that doesn't know you, you don't know them, you're just kind of going in cold. You're hoping that they'll even see it. And that can be a little bit difficult. But with using Humantik AI, it looks at their LinkedIn profile and it makes assumptions about them based on their algorithm, based on the things they post, the things they say. What is their personality most likely? And then based on that, it gives you ideas on how to approach them. For example, if you're working or talking to someone or want to talk to someone that's very like no nonsense, get to the point, and you start out the conversation with like, oh, how are you today? And like more of that fluffy kind of intro, the chances of you actually getting past that are going to be challenging because you're already not speaking their language. But by using a tool like Humantik AI or Crystal Knows, KNOWS, you're able to have a better idea of how to communicate that with them using the communication methods that work best for them. And so those are some favorite tools. They're also great if you're doing like high ticket sales, but even if you're just pitching for like a podcast episode, it helps you, it gives you a higher probability of getting your foot in the door.
Right. And do you favor the video first content, bringing them into your fold over the cold call, cold pitch?
Yeah, for sure.
But still, yeah, just because of that human connection. And it seems it's less direct, but I work with one of my clients has 15 salespeople, and 6 of them are in the reorder department, and they remind people, hey, it's time to replenish your order, and usually an annual event. But then there's new salespeople that are in niches, and they started out cold calling, and they're transitioning over to an inbound marketing method, and this kind of information will really help them a lot, because and they're not doing video yet, but they're focusing on written content. So for someone who's more comfortable with written content, what do you recommend to get them into that video space so they can start amplifying and repurposing that?
So if they're more comfortable with written content, they can actually, if they wanted to, they could create their avatar. So one thing that we're seeing a lot recently is people using avatars, whether it's one that looks kind of Pixar-y or one that looks like actually their picture. And then adding that into, it's called D-ID. Adding that into there, they can put a script in. So they can write out the script, they can write out the text they want the person to say, and then it'll actually make it look kind of like the person is talking themselves. And so it's like another version of themselves. And I'm hearing a lot of content creators, especially, saying they think that's going to be the way of the future, where instead of us showing our face on everything and in a lot of ways having less privacy than a lot of us are comfortable with, it will show their avatar instead. And again, that could be a character or it could be their face, but they don't have to show up, and they don't have to put makeup on every day and do all that. They don't have to show up themselves. They can just put in the script that maybe they feel more comfortable writing with.
And so you could also do the same thing with a real person. You could write a script and do the. I don't think that they're really averse to doing video. They just don't know how.
Gotcha.
Some of them, and some of my clients might be afraid to be on video, but most of them not, because they're coaches and they're visible. That's how they get clients, is to be on video and to do that. But this one particular client is more of a brick and mortar company, and so they've been around for 40 years, so that it's like steering a freighter. It takes a while to turn, but that's a really good idea. And you can also turn the blog posts and whatnot, you can turn them into audio.
Oh, absolutely.
You can turn them into audio with some still images and a waveform. You could do that. And that would be that's kind of old school now, but people are still doing that. So that's another way that they could do it.
The tool that we've used for that is Video, VIDYO, and I think it's video.ai. If you have people too that want video, but they don't really know how to do it, they can ask ChatGPT, they can ask Claude and say, here's the topic that I want to talk on. Here's, the general idea that I want them to know by the end. Can you create an outline for me? And then it can create the outline. Or if they already have the outline, they can say, now, can you please create a script for me? And then say, tell me exactly what to say second by second. The only word of warning I would give you on this is to read through it before and make sure it still reflects what you know and what you believe, your values, all of that. The mistake I see some people making is that they'll ask for the script, it'll give it to them, and they'll just read it as is. And then they'll get on a call with somebody based on that script. And then the person will say, oh, wait, I thought you knew this because of what you said in this video. So just make sure whatever script you use, video you use, that it really reflects what you know and what you want to put out into the world, so that you're attracting the right people that you want in your sphere.
And that's a good point. I mean, any AI output that you produce needs to reflect your values, your voice, your tone, your style, because people's BS meters are up, and they're up even more now that it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real. And anyway, I believe that human connection is even more important now than it ever has been, because of remote work and texting and all this new technology. People are even afraid to pick up the phone. Fortunately, with that pandemic that happened, a lot of people are remoting, and we're doing Zoom, and so people are way more comfortable getting face to face, and it's a great sales tool too. So
you had mentioned being that need for connection. One other way you can use AI for visibility is to find out where your audience will be in your area. So, for example, we live like an hour from Orlando. And so I know there's events there all the time, but it's sometimes hard when you don't know the name of the event to find out information about it, because you don't know what you don't know. And so what I'll do is go to BARD and I'll say, I want to go to trade shows or events and then I'll talk about who my audience is, who I want to see there. And then I'll say, please tell me at least 10 events, or tell me all the events happening in 2023 where this audience will be at that event. And so then it gives the event name, the link to buy tickets, the information about some of the speakers. I mean, it's fantastic. And the dates, it just makes it so much faster to find those things when you're using a tool like BARD or other AI tools.
Yeah. And so that's one use that you could use. And so what are some other ways you want to find an audience? So let's say I want to be on a podcast. I want to be guesting on podcasts where the host has my ideal client. Couldn't I ask BARD the same kind of question?
Absolutely. Yep. You could even say, give me a list of podcasts who reach audiences that are like this. And then what I often find is it'll give me some of the biggest names in the industry. So when I ask it, it's Amy Porterfield, it's Pat Flynn, it's, a lot of those bigger names in the industry.
Mhm.
But I might think, okay, I don't know them personally yet. I don't have that relationship with them yet. Let's maybe look at somebody that is a little bit closer to me in relation. And so I'll say something along those lines. And then it gives me another group of people. And so you can keep asking questions like that until you start to recognize some of the names that you're looking for, and get that information.
Yeah, I often have asked ChatGPT, or the chat bot, whichever one you want, to for up and coming, for people who are
Mhm.
up and coming in that field or in that space, which is a great. So everything we've talked about so far has to do with asking the AI the right questions and asking follow-up and fine-tuning. So can you talk about how can people learn? I think people want shortcuts, they want prompts, they want templates, they want to know how can I repeat the success that Brittany's
Mhm.
having uh, and for these specific problems I'm having, getting visible, what kind of content, how can I, define better my audience so the chat bot knows, ongoing who I'm talking about, who I'm trying to reach. What are some of the ways that we can learn more?
I think one of the things that you can do is be curious. So when you get an answer that you're not expecting or an answer you don't want, instead of thinking, oh, this just isn't going to work for me, ask it why it gave you that answer or tell it the outcome you want. So sometimes if I don't get the answer right away that I want, I'm like, what did I say that made it think I wanted this instead of what I actually wanted? And so I'll get more clear on my question, which actually has helped me be a better leader within my team, be a better
Mhm.
communicator within my family and friends. So that's been interesting. But I'll ask that question of, this is the outcome I want. What do I need to ask you in order to get that outcome? And so then it'll tell me the prompt to use in order to do that. And I sometimes have to tweak it a little bit still, but overall, that definitely helps me get what I want.
So yeah, you can ask the chat bot how to ask it,
Mm-hmm.
how it leads you so that you can get the result that you're looking for. and
Mm-hmm.
and there's it is a conversation. I've talked to lots of people about this, and the better you're at asking better questions and being real specific, because a lot of times we aren't as specific. We just said, yeah, I just want to make more money. Well, that's not specific enough, uh,
Mm-hmm.
of an answer to really be able to set a goal
Mm-hmm.
that you want. So, can you share an example, like a real world example of one of your clients who've used AI to really boost their business? I know that that's probably happened for you, but
Mm-hmm.
what about the rest of us who aren't expert AIs and educate award-winning educators like you?
So one of the people actually in AI Copy Club was just telling me that she started an additional stream of income from scratch using AI. And so she's been writing books and children's books and doing
Ah,
PDF or not PDFs, what are they called? Like
Kindles?
digital downloads, yeah, for Etsy and things like that. And she's brought in an incredible amount of money just doing those things, which is amazing. And again, it's something that she wasn't doing from the beginning. She started it using AI and it's really taken off. We've also had clients that have used it, especially tools like Humantik, to be able to have more high ticket sales conversions. We also have clients that have made money. I think around 12,000 was the last launch that someone told me about, that they made from emails and sales page they used, where they used only AI. They didn't hire a copywriter because that would have cost them about $5,000. They didn't
Yeah.
hire an email marketer. They just used AI for that. And it's once they get into it, they're like, okay, I can do this. It just takes some learning at the beginning.
Yeah. And so could you recommend some more resources maybe for user-friendly ways to learn how to do this?
I might be biased. AI Copy Club really is the best one. I might be biased there, but it
Yeah.
really is the best place to go. Let's see. Other ones, there's someone named Jordash Johnson that I follow. the AI Exchange is one that I follow on TikTok. And then they have a newsletter that I follow as well. But those are ones that they make it really easy to understand. And it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I'm friends with Andy O'Brien and Denise Wakeman of the AI Success Club, and they were in the space pretty early on too. And I'm a member of their and they've been on this podcast. And Andy's a copywriter, so he actually tells you how, or teaches you how to teach ChatGPT to use your voice and to tell stories. And then of course Denise Wakeman is an expert content marketer. So that's another great resource, the AI Success Club. So let's see what else. Oh yeah, why Friday off? Tell us about that.
So let's see. When I was about 4, after having my baby, she had been born. I had taken maternity leave for about 4 weeks, and I was exhausted, and I felt like I had to go back to work. I was freelancing at the time. I felt like I had to go back to work, and I felt so overwhelmed. And I looked down at her, and I thought, I can't continue to work this hard, and I don't want to grow up with her seeing more of the back of my computer than my face. And so we decided then and there we were going to start taking Fridays off. At the time I was working like 8 days a week. It was all the time. It just wasn't healthy. And so we were getting ready to take our first Friday off, and it was really stressful. There's something that had happened at work where I was freelancing that I thought, there's no way I can take this off. I have too much to do. But we decided we're going to do it anyway and just see what happens. And it was so transformative. I left my phone at home. I didn't feel like I constantly had to check email or do all these things. I realized that so much of what we focus on and feel like we have to do, like nobody's going to die if we don't do it. It's okay if it doesn't get done today. We can do it another day. And I realized I had put so much pressure on myself and added so much to my plate that I was getting a lot of money. I was doing a lot of things, but I wasn't living. I was just working, and that was my entire identity. And I had a cancer scare, and I think it was 2016. And I was thinking about that again and thinking, okay, if this was my last year on earth, am I okay with how life looks? Am I okay that I'm not spending a lot of time with my family? And my answer was no. And so that's when we started taking Fridays off. And it was so transformative that we kept taking Fridays off. And for the most part, have for the last almost 3 years now, just focused on being with family. And sometimes we'll take naps, sometimes we'll watch movies, sometimes we'll bake, sometimes we'll go hiking. It's just whatever we want to do, we'll do it. And there's no expectation to work. We don't feel the need to be on our phones, our computers. It's like a little refresh and a reminder that life is not all and only about work.
Right. And so you mentioned early on, or I mentioned it at the beginning, your framework, your Friday off framework. Is that part of it? Is that what you just explained, or is there more to it?
There's more to it. So when we're looking at how to take Friday off, because for most people, you can't just drop everything and be like, we're doing it. Like, I think that if I didn't have, our baby there with me and feeling like I didn't want to leave her, I think if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't have been able to just drop everything. But so basically what we say is, okay, what are the things that you can eliminate that you're doing currently? Things that aren't actually moving the needle forward. So we look at looking at your whole business. Let's look at what's working, what's not working, what you're doing. And then we kind of rate those things. What's moving the needle forward, what's not. Ultimately, like, what is that mountain that you want to get to? Anything that's not helping you reach that mountain, which is something that, I can't think of, I want to say Ben Sullivan, but I don't think that's it. He talks about in 10X is easier than 2X, this idea that most people spend 80% of their time doing things that don't move the needle forward. And the 20% that actually will move the needle forward, they either avoid or don't do as much. And so we focus on what's the 20% that only you can do. So we first eliminate anything that is unnecessary. Next, we delegate. Are there things that are necessary but not necessary for you? So we delegate to a team member, whether that's somebody that's a permanent team member or not, but just someone. The next thing that we're looking at is, okay, what can we optimize in your business to make it work better? and what can we automate to make it so that, again, your hands don't have to be on it. So as we're looking at those things, we're slowly taking stuff off your plate. And you're seeing, because we're optimizing, because we're automating, we're seeing revenue go up also, which is pretty cool. So most people, when they start working with us, they're like, there's no way I can take Friday off. There's no way that I won't lose a bunch of money here. My clients won't be mad at me. But then as they continue to go through it, they're like, this is possible and this is awesome. And so it's cool to see that transformation. Our goal is that not only will doing this impact you, but it impacts your family, it impacts your extended family. I mean, we've seen it impact us in, like, with my husband, my baby, but we've also seen it impact our extended family, our friends, our colleagues. It has this ripple effect when you kind of buck against a status quo, which is, you have to work all the time. If only you work a little harder, then you'll get to the place that you want. We kind of buck against that, and we've seen the ripple effect that it's made because of it. And so for us, it's just kind of this mission thing of, there's just so much to life and so much living to be done. It's not all about work.
And it's kind of like, it reminds me of the is it the 4-day work week or the 4-hour
Yeah.
work week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss, which came out a long time ago, and I know that's inspired a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have clients that you take through this process?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see how they grow and transform throughout it.
I imagine. Yeah. That's amazing. And I know lots of businesses have flourished and come into being because of being able to delegate to a team member. Well, who's that team member? And when you're a solo entrepreneur, you're always looking at the numbers and you want to, can I justify this? And we tend to hold on to those things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to give them up. How do you get your clients over that little hump?
It is really hard to give it up. So we create SOPs, and we create a process for them reviewing what the person is doing without emotion. And so what we'll do is, first we'll use ChatGPT. The person will record a video doing something they normally do that they want to delegate, or that they are delegating because it doesn't make sense for them to do. So they'll create a Loom video of them doing the thing. Then they hand that to the team member. The team member then uploads a transcript into ChatGPT and asks it to create an SOP for them. Then they use the video and the SOP to follow the instructions and do the task that the business owner normally would do themselves. Then they submit that to the business owner after there's like a review process that they do, which they also ask ChatGPT to come up with a checklist for. So they review that and do like a checklist as they go throughout. So after they've reviewed the process, they then submit it to the business owner, who looks over it and gives feedback. And so then the business owner has that checklist too, to see, all right, everything's been checked off. If there's anything they say, oh, actually, I would do it this way, or actually, it looks like we need more detail here. They give that feedback. And we tell them that they should anticipate to give feedback on that task at least for the first 5 or 6 times. And then after that, they shouldn't have to give that feedback anymore, because the person should know how to do it, and should have those systems in place where they're checking things off. So that's the biggest way that we do it. We find that by doing it that way, it feels really safe for the business owner, and it feels like it's something they can let go of. They don't have to micromanage it, because somebody else is double checking first before it even gets to them. And then they also do it by hiring the right people. And so there's a few ways that they can do that, but one of them is by having the potential contractor, employee, whoever it is, do a test project. And so to come up with a test project, they put into ChatGPT, here's the job that I need. Here's the outcomes that I want. Can you create a job description? It creates a job description. Then they say, okay, great. Based on this job description, can you please create a test project? Here are the things, or look at the things that they would be doing to create the test project instructions. So ChatGPT creates that. Then they submit it to the potential person coming in, and of course, pay them for the work that they're doing for the test project. And then they're able to see, is this a good fit or not? They're looking specifically for, can they follow instructions in the same way that I think? Because sometimes people follow instructions just fine, but they understand things differently than how we understand them or how we've written them. And so can they follow instructions? If they have questions, do they try to find it out for themselves first, or do they come to me first? If they can't figure it out for themselves after exhausting their resources, do they then come to me and clarify, or do they feel like they can't do that? So those are some things that we're looking for before they bring anyone on. And then also, I mentioned after they have someone.
Wow. That is gold. That is pure gold. You know, as an entrepreneur or as a manager or as a line worker, even who's like in some of my roles, I've played many different roles: logistics manager, programmer, marketer, webmaster, project manager. All those, you know, things are rolled up into one when you're you know, salesperson, customer service rep. All those things are rolled into one thing. And as entrepreneurs, we want that. We want our personality. We want our values. We want people to be treated in a certain way, and we want things done in a certain way, or we certainly want a quality outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And so taking that process and iterating through it, rinse and repeat until you get it the way you want. Just that process of that step-by-step process, taking that entrepreneur through that, that's how you break it down. That's how you you convince them that, hey, this is doable. And then they can then if they're truly a visionary, which I hope most entrepreneurs are, they go, I can replicate this here, 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 and here. And then that's how you can take Friday and Monday off.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. I'm taking that. Now, are these ideas that you have that we've brought forward? I assume a lot of them are in the AI Copy Club.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And one of the trainings I saw you working on, and do we have time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the trainings I saw you, we were on a Zoom call, and you had Loom, and you went and you asked ChatGPT for a topic, one of your topics, and it came up with an idea, and then you said you fine-tuned it, and then you had it write a script, and you wanted a 6-minute video, I think. And then what you did is you looked at the script, but you didn't repeat the script. You looked at it, you said, how am I going to say this in my own words? And then you hit record, and then you said the first 2 or 3 sentences because you wanted a hook to start it off. Then you hit pause, and you were using Loom to do this. And then I'm telling you this, I'm sharing this because I was really impressed with how easy that was. And so then you went to the next step, and you said, okay, so here's the first tip, and how would I say this tip? And then once you had that in your mind, you hit record, and you said it, and then you hit pause, and you rinse and repeat. And in just a few minutes, I think it was about 10 minutes, the demonstration was, and it took longer to explain what you were doing than to actually do it. But at the end, you had a video that was in your voice, and then you created a transcript from it. And so now you had a training that was in your voice, with your voice style and tone, that you could create more training from. You could create social posts and so on and so forth. So that was brilliant. I've never seen that done in real time. In like you were fearless running without a net almost, and I was so impressed with that. And so if that would be a great way to create videos when you're kind of getting started, and a lot of times, when I've recorded my programs or whatever, a 10-minute video, I'll actually go through the whole video, and I'll have a script, and I have a script, and then I have to go and edit it because of the ums and ahs, and I went, oh darn, I didn't say that right. So that could really actually speed up. It seems like the stop and go might take longer, but it really doesn't. I was just going, wow, I got to try that. I'm not recording a program right now, but I'm doing a challenge coming up, and I'm re-recording some of my videos. So I'm going to try that out And so for those of you who are listening, give that a try, get some ideas. And I think the coolest thing though is once I saw the stop and go process, the really powerful part was you took and transcribed that video and then you created more content from it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just such a time saver. And you had quality output and all of that. So wow, I'm really impressed with that.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
even I mean, just from that, even like a 6-minute video, we can create about 10 pieces of content just from that for the different platforms between written content, video, audio. It really does save a lot of time.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been really interesting having you on. Thank you for coming on the show. And as you wrap up with your final words, Brittany, what are 3 things that our listeners can do to put these ideas into action today?
So the first thing would be to to write down any of the ideas that you thought, oh, these were an aha idea. I really want to try this. Put it into ChatGPT and say, which of these should I start with? Which of these has the highest probability of helping me get closer to whatever your mountain is, whatever outcome it is that you want?
Yeah.
That'd be the first thing that I do. The second thing I would do is try that video piece of it and see how you like it with adding the pauses in, and give that a try to see how you can create additional pieces of content for more visibility. And then the third thing, if you really want to work on maybe your lead magnet or the way that you're getting people in, is to copy and paste your lead magnet and put it into ChatGPT or Claude and ask it to analyze it. Say, this is who my audience is, and I want you to analyze my lead magnet and tell me the places that I have an opportunity to reach more people or reach my audience better by tweaking some things. You can also do the same thing with your opt-in page too. You can say, what can I change or add or remove from this to help it better convert for, and then describe who your audience is. So that's what I'd start with.
Wow. And you know what else you can do with your opt-in page or your sales page is you can describe your audience, copy and paste your page, and this is really high level, oversimplifying, but then you could have it create what are the questions or objections that my ideal audience would have, and so write a list of those, and then you have it fill in what are the answers to those things, and then you take that and you can make that part of your sales copy or your your pre-launch social media content, like you were talking about earlier. So that really amplifies your success and reduces that friction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you so much. There is a gift that Brittany's offering, and I was checking it out just today. It's 120 ways to use AI in your business today. And you can pick that up for free at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com/120 AI ways. That's www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com/120 AI ways. And remember, faith and action go hand in hand. So put the pedal to the metal. And until next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show, I'm Paul Guyan and Brittany Long. Thank you so much again, and so long.
Thank you for tuning in to the Lead Machine Growth Show with Paul Guyan, where we show you how to tackle your tech, master your message, and design your dream so that you can transform your vision into reality. Remember to visit our website at www.leadmachinegrowthshow.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Lead Machine Growth Show.